Maybe I should be at that mic. Okay, we'll see how this goes. I might move. I just need to take a breath and let myself soak in that music a bit longer. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for it, seriously. Demonstrate that quite so clearly. I just really want to thank you for inviting me to be part of this incredibly momentous and special occasion. It's a great honor for me to be here celebrating this celebration of this building, this dedication of this beautiful space with all of you. So thank you. And I invite you to please pray with me. Holy One, who blows among us as wind, as spirit, as music, as breath, as silence. Speak your word into our hearts this day. In the words we share from your scriptures, in the words we share from our hearts, in the word your Spirit breathes in us. May we hear your voice and find our voice. Amen. Oh, poor Nicodemus. I always feel badly for Nicodemus. The way I read this encounter, he's come to Jesus because there's something he's longing for. He wants to understand something. Maybe he wants to challenge Jesus. Maybe he wants Jesus to help him put some pieces together. We don't really know. We just know he's made a special effort to go under the cover of night to talk with this guy who's just, thrown everybody out of the temple and created quite a ruckus. And he goes and he talks to him and he says, well, we know you must be from God because you're doing all these things that confuse us, and that's what God does. And then Jesus says to him, yeah, if you want to see what God does, if you want to see the life that God offers, you actually have to be born all over again. And this is where things get very sticky for Nicodemus, because he can't kind of wrap his head around what Jesus is saying. He's like, born again, I don't think I'd fit. Like, I can't figure out the mechanics of what you're talking about there, Jesus. Like, I don't think so. And Jesus says, okay, let me put it this way. If you want to get into the kingdom of heaven, if you want to enter into the realm and the life that God has to offer, you have to be born of the Spirit. There has to be a spiritual rebirth. But poor Nicodemus can't get out of the physicality of birth. He knows what birth is. He knows it's a messy, painful, beautiful, extremely physical experience. And he can't make the leap to actually the birth that gives the life we long for. The birth that all of our hearts and spirits are yearning for is another kind of birth. It's just as hard. It's certainly just as messy. It can be very painful. It takes a long time. But it's a spiritual process. That's the birth that we're longing for, that's what enters us into that life that God intends for us. And to that, Nicodemus just says, I don't get how that can be. That's why I feel so badly for him. I feel badly for him because I share his consternation and confusion. I so often just don't get it. I just don't get it because I get so distracted by other things. So I like this story, and yet it breaks my heart every time I read it. But Jesus is inviting Nicodemus to understand that all of the physical life that we enjoy they're signs. They're pointing us to something so much deeper. But there needs to be a real newness. A real newness in our spirits. A new understanding of how, as physical beings, in a community of other physical beings, what is more than just the physicality of us. There's something more there. Absolutely physical beings, bodies, interacting together, sharing life together. But there's something more. And it's that more. It's that spirit that is in the midst that is the source of the life for which we are all longing. Now, you all have been through a long, I understand sometimes painful, messy, bloody birth. Birth is always like that. It hurts, and it makes a stink and a mess, and there's a lot of screaming, and yeah, it's just, that's the beauty of it, right? That's the beauty of birth, sort of. Beauty is really the thing that ends up coming out at the end, but that's the process. So sometimes labor is, quick like that for the lucky few. But for many, labor takes ever so much longer than anticipated or planned for. And you know something about that. You know something about extended labor. But what a beautiful building. What a beautiful space. What a beautiful community and gift to the community has emerged out of that. And it would be easy, I imagine, tempting to look at the beauty, the physicality of what has been born here, and to say, this is it, this beautiful pulpit. It's an astounding pulpit. It's a beautiful building. I was in tears over the communion table and the font. But friends, all of this beauty, all of this physical stuff which has been born here of your great labor is only a sign, a pointer to what is truly at the heart of what you have done and of what you are about and of what you need to continue to be about. It is the spiritual rebirth that gives all of this life and meaning. Without that, this is simply wood and tile and fabric, lovely wood, tile, and fabric, but it has no life. The life, the meaning of this building, this stuff, and of this gathered community is the Spirit, is the commitment to being in community and of community and with community. I understand that in the process of redeveloping your building, you have been challenged to redevelop yourselves, your congregation, your sense of mission, your understanding of who you are and how you will be in this community in which you live. And that is the rebirth that Jesus is talking about. That's the rebirth that Nicodemus is trying to wrap his head around and not doing so well at. But you, my friends, you have understood. You have understood that the rebirth that gives life is that spiritual rebirth, and that any community, any building, if it is going to have the life and call people into the life that our hearts are all longing for, it needs to have the Spirit at the center. That's what you're about. You even know that you can be without a physical home to worship in, and God is there. You know you don't need this stuff. It's great, though. And may it always point you to the spiritual center of your community. I love that you have created as the floor of this space in which you will gather as community a labyrinth. Because a labyrinth is this profound symbol of exactly that kind of spiritual renewal and rebirth that we must continually go through. It is the spiritual journey made manifest right here on your floor, right at the center of your space, is the reminder that your space is just a space in which you can encounter and share spirit. The labyrinth is an invitation into a journey deep into ourselves, deep into the heart of God, where we experience a transformation, a renewal that we cannot anticipate ahead of time. We don't know what's going to happen as we're walking into that center, and we don't know what will be revealed to us when we arrive at the center. But we do know that we don't stay there. That the center then sends us back out on an equally long and uncertain journey out into the world to share and communicate and offer what has been given. And that is what you have been called. That is the rebirth. And the building is simply the sign of it. It's simply the physical manifestation of the spiritual journey that you have been and are still on. And that is a very blessed journey. Very blessed journey. And a very high calling. And you cannot, must not, attempt to do that alone. It's not a journey that you're supposed to take yourself. It's a journey that always calls you into and sends you out for community. The journey of faith is one that deepens community, that calls us to recognize our interdependence. You need this community just as it needs you. You cannot be God's faithful people in this place without all of your neighbors. You can't be. I think you know that. I think that has become part of your learning in this whole process. That's been part of the gift of this building, is that it has caused you to discover that you and your community are in this together. That your life and their life are inseparable, indistinguishable. And that at the center of it all is the Spirit that moves among us in unanticipated ways, that comes from who knows where and will carry us to God knows where. And will do who knows and God knows what along the way. Because that's how it is with people who are born of the Spirit. So as you enjoy this magnificent space, these beautiful gifts of human creativity and heart, may they always call you to, point you to, and remind you that at the center of your community, at the center of your reason for existing, is not the stuff, but the Spirit. experience the kingdom of